gin, it won't stain.
Yes, my lady.
It is Jessica, isn't it?
Yes, my lady.
Sure, with Mrs. Krause convalescing, anyone's given you much instruction around here.
Oh, I'm very well experienced, my lady.
Nevertheless, I've written up the list of your daily responsibilities.
Oh, thank you.
Something else. A word to the wise. Don't find yourself alone in a room with his lordship. Do you understand why?
I think I do, my lady, yes. I'll be careful.
I believe you will. Pray you don't take this as a threat, just a very unfortunate fact that any indiscretions with his lordship and his maid fall upon her feet, not his, and you'll find yourself dismissed without a reference. I would hate for that to happen to you, Jessica.
Oh, no, my lady. I'm a good girl. I'm a mindful.
I'm sure you will. Now run and fetch some flowers from the gardener. Come back and dry the floor.
Yes, my lady.
Pretty, isn't it?
You've taken it from the vault already. Whatever for?
Poor thing has been locked up in the dark for years. And diamonds are meant to reflect light, especially on women. That's what they were made for.
That's what they're for. I've always wondered.
You feign nonchalance, but I know how keen you are to sell the star.
And you, on the other hand, have no desire for the money. Does that mean you want none of what it brings at auction?
After you settle your gambling debts, will there be any left?
Well, you think there won't be. Let me offer you something more substantial. Say, a plate of fish and chips.
Cod or haddock?
Mackerel. You know, my dear, under the law, you can claim no share of that diamond. Shouldn't be so dismissive of fish and chips.
Have another drink, Peter.
That's what I came in here for. Did I have a glass?
You broke it. Take a fresh one, darling.
And what do you know about my alleged gambling debts?
I know that Jack Century is coming to collect, and don't pretend that he isn't.
He'll be coming to bring me my ring. Collier.
Very good, my lord.
I took it out of the vault because the man from Sotheby's is coming to collect it, or have you forgotten?
Let's see. Tomorrow, the day after.
Jessica, it's rather warm in here. Open the garden door, please.
Yes, my lady.
The bank sent over a list of bidders who submitted their references from the bank. Would you care to take a look?
Anyone we know of?
No, there are only 3, and they're all foreigners.
That's a blessing. Leave it. I'll take a look at it later. Take a look at that folder. The notorious Dog Rapier. 50 carats of rotten luck. What if that's the reason why you're barren? What of all big diamonds and cash? Just the ones that live in England.
I don't believe that diamonds are cursed at all. I believe it's their owners who are cursed, especially the ones that live in England. But who knows? Once we're rid of it, perhaps luck will change for both of us.
Thank you, Collier.
What do you think, Collier?
I have no doubt it will, my lady.
Are you just being pleasant? Because such sentiments are a complete waste around here.
No, I'm in earnest. I had feared that you and his lordship would close this place, but now it seems your prospects have improved.
That's a refreshing breeze of optimism.
Now, you need have no fear of being dismissed, Collier.
That's right, old man. Why, I sell my wife's horse before I part with you.
Very
You
funny.
got me thinking.
Very funny, Peter. Very funny.
Well, you won't part with your horse. What about some of this wormy furniture? Collier, what do you think?
I say good riddance.
Yeah.
Old and ponderous.
Yeah. And what about those portraits of my heavenly ancestors whose names I can never remember? You think anybody would want them?
A museum, perhaps, my lord.
Not likely.
Well, then a theatrical company?
Oh, I like that. Great-great-grandpapa in a theatrical show, preferably a burlesque, with whoopee cushions.
You are drunk again, Peter, and I must change and be on my way.
Where are you going?
I'm to meet with the man who's to safeguard the star, since you refused to.
Why should I bother? Sure he knows the business. Probably not foolishness come here then.
If I may make a suggestion, my lord, you may wish to enlist the help of Mr. Sherlock Holmes to look after the diamond.
Sherlock Holmes. But that is lying, isn't it?
Not sure he'd be interested.
You know him.
I haven't had the honor, but I did serve with a friend of his, Dr. John Watson, in Afghanistan. I think he would remember me and put in a good word.
Perhaps I shall. Will you let Henry know I'll be ready shortly to bring the carriage around?
Very good, my lady. And may I take the liberty of showing him Baker Street, where Mr. Holmes has rooms?
Sure, thank you. Let Henry, I'll be ready just as soon as I change and give this note to the cook and this one to the gardener.
Very good, my lady.
There you go with your damn holding notes to the helper. You really are quite insufferable.
Well, you're welcome to run the estate just as soon as you sober up.
Not worth the sacrifice.
Will there be anything else, my lord?
Yes. I'm expecting Jack Sentry at any moment. Will you please make sure it doesn't bump into Lady Iris?
Very good, my lord.
Oh, begging your pardon, my lord. I'll come back later and dry the floor.
Keep doing what you're doing. Don't mind me.
Very good, my lord.
By the way, what's your name? Perhaps another time.
Bad news, Governor.
Across the board?
Across the board. None of your horses came in.
What are we up to?
1,160 on me cup.
I suppose it could be worse. You want a drink?
No, thank you. But could be worse. Now that's what gets me. You titled blokes being so blasé about your debts. One day you're all eager to put a floater on a horse. The next, you can't remember what horses you picked. And it never matters to you that old Jack Sentry's carrying your debt, even though I've got other obligations to pay.
Go back a long ways, Jack. You know I'm good for it.
Oh, you now. You can pay your butler, your cook, and all your other help, but you can't pay old Jack Sentry. How does that make you good for it?
Not today, Jack, but very soon.
I should hope so, for both our sakes. And there's today's racing form. You're wanting to place another bet, aren't you?
Audentes fortuna juvat.
What's that?
Luck favors the bold. Works better than a rabbit's foot.
Right. So, my lord, how much longer you expect me to cure you before I gotta get impolite?
Let me show you something, Jack. You ever seen the likes of that, Mike?
Huh, diamond, is it?
That's the Star of Arabia.
Is that a gold chain?
Oh, never mind the chain. This diamond was brought from Czech by my grandfather. We kept it in the vault all these years for a rainy day. I think last year's floods qualified. So I'm auctioning it this very week. Some of these things, it'll fetch more than 20,000 pounds.
Blimey.
See, I have enough to scrub my head off your stuff and buy you new rabbits, but that was going wrong. So, be a good chap, will you? Put 40 quid on Seascape in the fall.
40 quid on a horse running 30 to 1? That'll put you even 1,200 in the hole. But you still think you're jammy, don't ya? So what day's that auction?
Wednesday,
At Sotheby's, you say?
10 o'clock.
All right, I'll take your bet. But I'll be at that auction Wednesday morning, and we'll settle it up then. Any objections to that?
None, just try to avoid my wife.
I always do.
Thank you, Jack.
Now, Governor, don't get the idea we're family. The debt's a debt, and I expect a punter to pay what he owes. Doesn't matter to me whether he lives in a manor house or sleeps in the park. Old Jack Sentry, he treats them all the same. I know how to be polite, but I've got gentlemen that you would not want to meet up with after dark. Do you understand me?
Oh, perfect.
Then I bid you good day. Good luck on your auction. And that horse in the fourth.
Seascape.
Yeah, Seascape, 30 to 1. Good day, Governor.
Cheers, bye, Jack. This day I place before thee blessing and curse, life and death. Who are you? How did you get in here?
You know, as I wasn't expecting.
You want?
I think you know what I want. I'll take it. Be on my way. You can finish your drink here. Easy now. Hand it over.
I know you. You used to work here.
Until you sack me.
Rudy's your name, isn't it? Oh, you've come back to steal the Star of Arabia. Whatever for? Can't possibly sell it. No jeweler or gem dealer in England would touch it.
Not my concern, not yours. Happens. I have a client who owns it.
Look!
Ah!
Oh,
Now look what you've done. Made the job easy for me. Guess I'll have to finish it all.
Yo, Holmes, fix your sleeve. Here, put on your suit coat. You have a visitor. Don't you wish to know who it is? It's a lady. And I should add, she's quite fetching. She wishes to engage your services on a case. A murder case. Murder, you say?
Show her in.
Lady Iris, won't you come in? Lady Iris, this is Sherlock Holmes. Holmes, this is...
Lady Iris Carraday, a pleasure. I see you hurried here from your country estate in Chalfont St. Peter.
Yes, how did you know?
Chalk from that road is on your shoes. Its color is quite distinctive. And forgive me if I'm being indelicate, but your horses must have cantered the whole way as the scent of high lather lingers. Mrs. Hudson! Oh.
I just thought your visitor would like...
Some refreshments, of course. She's had a long carriage ride. Or perhaps she'd like to powder her nose.
Actually, I would.
Come with me, my lady, you can freshen up.
Lady Iris, I'm so sorry. I was remiss in not offering you the chance to go, never mind.
This way, Lady Iris.
Perhaps I should. It seems I smell of horses.
Mr. Holmes, how could you say such a thing?
With solicitude, I assure you. Lady Iris, I see you're dressed in black. Who has died?
My husband's been murdered
Lord Carraday, when?
2 days ago.
Pray sit. What else?
Our butler's gone missing.
And
A very valuable diamond is missing.
the Star of Arabia.
Yes, you must have seen
The
the
announcement of the auction at Sotheby's. Anything else?
The inspector.
Lestrade.
Yes, Inspector Lestrade thinks that.
The butler did it. Well, that's Lestrade for you, but you're not convinced. Is that what brought you here?
But actually, it was our butler who suggested I come here before any of this happened. He said he knew you in Afghanistan, Dr. Watson.
He said I knew him. What's his name?
Collier.
And his given name?
Alec, I believe.
Of course, Alec Collier. He was a sergeant in my brigade. Quite a stout fellow. He once carried a wounded comrade on his back for 2 miles to bring him to my surgery. I'd never seen the like of it. But Lady Iris, go with Mrs. Hudson now.
Lady Iris, why were you selling your diamond?
It was either sell the contents of the estate or sell the estate itself. The flood had devastated our tenants last year, and Mr. Holmes, my husband, gambled quite heavily and lost, and the diamond was to be our salvation, but now it's turned out to be a curse.
I've heard those diamonds are cursed. That's why they keep them locked up in the tower.
Oh, Mrs. Hudson, can't you see Lady Iris wishes to freshen up?
Please come with me.
Lady Iris.
Holmes, let Lady Iris go with Mrs. Hudson. Your question can wait.
Forgive me, I just wish to know if your husband had any enemies.
The inspector asked me the same question, and the only one I can think of is Jack Century. In fact, he was at the home the day Peter was murdered. He didn't want me to know, but I heard them speaking in the library. And minutes later, Peter was dead.
Say no more. I know the man. Mrs. Hudson.
Yes, Mrs. Hudson, why have you escorted Lady Iris yet?
Mr. Holmes, I've been trying to.
Well, then go ahead and do it. So you recognize that name, Jack Century?
I'm rather surprised that you don't. He's a bookmaker with a wide acquaintance. Jack Century is familiar among the wealthy gentlemen. He's discreet and can book the larger bets. Lord Carraday may have owed him a goodly sum.
At a time when he was short of money, is Century capable of murder?
Well, Jack Century's more likely to arrange for one than do it himself. I hear he has some rather disagreeable associates.
Lestrade suspects the butler, a man you give good character to.
It's possible that Alec Collier has changed since his days as a soldier. No, it wouldn't be the first time that a man returns from war and gives in to his demons. But I doubt it.
Lestrade will need to find him and the diamond before he can close his case out.
Holmes, I haven't seen anything about this in the newspapers, have you?
Not a word.
Where do you plan to start?
At the murder scene, Lestrade has likely spent little time investigating, and if fortune should shine upon us, we'll find a clue he's overlooked. Mrs. Hudson, has Lady Iris finished powdering her nose? blades of grass. The murderer likely entered through here. A spot of blood. Clearly he left the same way and was either wounded or his knife was driven.
Oh, Holmes, must you be so graphic?
Forgive me. Lady Iris, where does the path outside this door lead?
To the stables.
Were you and your husband both equestrian?
Not exactly. I ride, but Peter's interest in riding took the form of betting on horses.
Ah, Saturday racing form. One horse chosen, Seascape in the fourth. Most instructive. Thank you. The canter of gin left uncapped. Surely your butler would have seen to that if he had time. Was your husband a heavy drinker?
I'm afraid so.
I take it the body lay here.
Yes, the inspector said there were 2 wounds, one in his abdomen and...
Oh, Lady Iris, if revisiting the scene of these events is too much for you,
It's all right. I'll be okay, Dr.
Are you
Benson.
quite sure?
You must rely on me. I must be strong.
Lady Iris, is this the box the diamond was in?
Yes.
Why is it here, not in your vault?
That's my doing. I was having a last look before the man from Sotheby's was to come.
When?
Today, actually.
So you wanted 2 days to have a last look.
I'm a woman, Mr. Holmes, not a gem trader.
Point taken. Though the empty box is dispositive.
Why would that matter?
Sitting empty in the middle of the room draws attention to the fact that the diamond is missing. If Collier were the thief, he would have taken the diamond in the box, left quietly. No harm would have befell Lord Peter, and it could have been a full day before anyone noticed it was missing. No, it's more likely that Lord Peter took it out to show or give to someone else.
Jack Century?
So your theory is that Peter gave Jack Century the diamond to secure his gambling debts?
That's possible. Ah, hello, this is curious. Lady Iris, did you know you were missing a fire iron from this room?
Not that I know of. I don't remember.
And what pray has become of your poker?
Appears to be missing.
Well, in that case, we're done here.
Bidding is now at 410 pounds, ladies and gentlemen. 410. An excellent landscape by Jacob Moore in pristine condition. Who will say 420?
420.
Thank you, Mr. Bonus, at 420. From the American gentleman, 430 is next.
130.
Thank you, Madam Korovna. The bid is now 430 for this Scottish landscape. Is it bound for St. Petersburg or Chicago?
500.
Ah, Mr. Bonus says Chicago. 500 is the number. 500 pounds. I'm going to sell it for 500 pounds. Going once, going twice. to Mr. Bonus. Congratulations, sir.
Madam, I'd like you to know that I hated bidding against you. But this painting is for my daughter who's building a house in Chicago.
Oh, not at all, Mr. Bonus. Had I known you wanted it for her, I might have stopped earlier.
That's very kind of you, madam. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you that the Star of Arabia is not available for sale at present, so that concludes today's items.
Wait. Why not? This is most irregular. Why is it not?
I'm afraid that I have very little information,
Mr. Anslow.
Mr. Anslow. Well, Lady Iris only now just sent a message. There's nothing confidential in it. Shall I read it to you?
Please do.
A terrible tragedy has befallen our household, and for this reason I must withhold the Star of Arabia temporarily. I hope no one is inconvenienced by this postponement. Please direct all inquiries to Mr. Sherlock Holmes at 221B Baker Street. Sincerely, Lady Iris Faraday.
Wait, Lady Iris? Not Lord Peter?
We've not heard from Lord Peter.
Oh, I've wasted my time here today, haven't I?
Now pass.
Certainly. I beg your pardon.
Thank you.
Well, madam, my carriage is at your service. Where would you like to go?
My hotel, if it's not out of your way.
Well, where are you staying?
Claridge's.
Well, then it's not a bit out of my way. That's where I'm staying. Shall we?
Inspector Lestrade to see you.
At last, show him in.
Ah, my dear Inspector, it's so good to see you.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson.
Inspector.
Come to discuss a case with you, the murder of Lord Peter Carriday.
Good heavens, Lord Faraday's been murdered. Why, this is shocking. Watson, have you read anything about this in the papers?
Read about it? No, not a word. If it was in the Times, I must have missed it.
Oh, now see here, Holmes. I know you've been engaged by Lady Carriday to look into the matter, and that you've been to investigate the crime scene.
Where did you hear that from?
I have it from Lady Carriday herself. That's why I'm here.
And you'll forgive me for not being more forthright, as I took my cue from you, who's managed to keep the murder of a member of the House of Lords a complete secret. Why?
Well, as I'm sure Lady Carriday has told you, it appears the blighter that killed him stole a rather valuable piece of jewelry.
The Star of Arabia.
That's the one. Said to be worth over £20,000. Now, I thought if we were tight-lipped about it, it might make the murderer careless trying to get rid of the stone.
Perhaps if we knew who the murderer was, I might agree with you.
Oh, we know who it is, all right. This Collier fellow, the butler.
The butler did it.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, the Carraday's butler. He went missing same time as the stone. Now, I thought if we kept his name out of the papers and watched the shops and the traders, he might try to sell the diamond, and then we'll have it.
Unless he knows that selling a 50-carat diamond would be like pawning the Mona Lisa. No one would touch it.
Well, maybe he doesn't do that.
I suppose anything's possible.
That's right, Holmes. Anything is possible.
Then could you possibly do me a favor?
What's that?
Release the story to the press. Tell them how gruesomely Lord Peter was killed, and that you're in search of Mr. Alec Collier. Furthermore, be sure to mention that I have been retained to assist in the investigation.
You want me to publicize the case and put your name in the paper? I don't understand. I usually don't want to be mentioned till afterwards.
Well, this is an exception.
Oh, all right. Is there anything else?
Yes, there's one more kindness you could perform. Lady Iris's fireplace poker has been mislaid. Can you put a man on?
You want me to look for a fireplace poker during a murder investigation?
Yes, and let me know if you find it at once.
I'm not sure I can spare a man for a thing like that just now. Is it important?
Michael.
Oh, very well.
Thank you for coming, Inspector. It was most kind of you. Mrs. Hudson?
Oh,
there
Miss
you are again.
Hi.
Yes, now fortuitous. Would you be so good as to show the inspector out?
Certainly, Mr. Holmes, Inspector.
Till then, Holmes. Doctor?
Inspector.
Holmes, why do you want to have this story in the newspaper?
As a signal to Collier. If he's still alive, I want him to come here.
What is the significance of the fireplace book?
Nothing if it's merely been mislaid, or a cook has taken to use it in the kitchen. Otherwise, it may save Collier from the gallows.
A gentleman to see you, Mr. Holmes. I can't pronounce his name. He is an Arab gentleman.
Show him in. And Mrs. Hudson, you may as well stay rather than hovering outside the door.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, I presume.
No, I'm Dr. John Watson. This is Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, please forgive my error. I am Sheikh Saeed Al-Din Bakri. Your landlady had a difficulty with my name. I'm afraid my calling card is in Arabic.
Are you new to London?
I am, yes.
Where are you from?
I am from Kuwait, forbidden with that.
Kuwait. It's on the Arabian Peninsula, a British protectorate, I believe.
Well, that is true at the moment, but we have hopes of better days to come.
So you didn't come here to discuss Middle East politics? What can we do for you, Sheikh?
I seek the diamond you call it Star of Arabia. I was disappointed when it was withdrawn from sale at Sotheby's. Do you know when it will be available?
Lady Carraday will make that determination. She's had a bereavement.
So I've heard. A terrible tragedy.
How did you hear? The police have got word of it confidential.
It was related to me by one of my servants, by a man who sweeps the floor at Scotland Yard. He's a fellow countryman, and he overheard two constables speaking. Dr. Watson, no doubt in your travels, you have observed even the most tight-lipped Englishman to carelessly ignore dark-skinned menials.
I regret to say that is true.
I have come today to ask you if you know when the Star will be offered.
Is there some urgency on your part?
Only that my time in London is very short. I must soon return to my country.
I see.
I've taken the liberty of writing my condolences to Lady Carnaby and offering to purchase the Star for a very generous sum. But as I said, my time in London is very short.
I'm sure there's nothing improper about offering help and comfort to a grieving widow.
I wish someone had offered me some help when my Herbert died. We buried him in a suit he'd outgrown. Had to cut it up the back so it'd button in the front.
That's a pity, Mrs. Hudson. Sheikh, why are you so keen to have this stone?
Are you familiar with the history of the Star?
Now that's something I want to hear.
9 decades ago, our Sunni fathers sacked the city of Karbala in Iraq. They raided the tomb and the jewels in the tomb of Al-Hussein, grandson of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Star of Arabia was the greatest of his treasures.
Grave robbers were they?
I'm afraid that is the case. There is more.
Oh, I want to hear it.
The star came into the hands of El Bison. While captured in Cairo, the star disappeared.
That's interesting.
But it reappeared during the Crimean War. Ahmed Aziz, Sultan of the Ottomans, sold the star to William Carriday, Lord Carraday's grandfather. It was a private transaction and not related to Lord Carraday's diplomatic duties. Now, it falls upon me to return the star to its rightful owner, Ibn Saud.
Please give your letter to Dr. Watson. He's far more tactful when it comes to widows, or any women for that matter.
I am most grateful.
Hey, I'll be seeing Lady Carriday later today.
May I ask, are you guarding the star? Is it here?
It is not.
I am relieved. Let me warn you before I leave. Do not let the star repose with you, for I have not yet told you the entire history.
There's more?
The Star of Arabia bears a curse. All those who have transported it from its owner have suffered a terrible death. Lost caravans, guardians poisoned, death by slaughter.
Now that's a pity.
Perhaps the most tragic of all was Lord William Carraday's cousin, rumored to be his mistress. She wore the star to the coronation of Queen Victoria. On the way back from Westminster, her carriage lost the wheel, tumbled off a bridge. The poor young woman was decapitated.
What a frightening story. God save us all.
I could tell you even more.
No, I think that's quite enough.
I do not wish to tire you with my story. I have written a short history of the star and its curse. The manuscript is in Arabic, but a translation is being prepared. May I take the liberty to send you a copy?
Most kind of you.
Sheikh Bakri, are you not concerned about the star's curse if your intention is to transport it back to Arabia?
No. I wish to purchase it freely with my own funds, with no expectation of recompense. So therefore, I need not bear the curse. But let me advise you, do not harbor or transport the star, lest you meet with a terrible death. I bid you, madam and gentlemen, a good afternoon.
I'll show you out.
Good afternoon, Sheikh Bakri. From all of us. Holmes, in case you haven't noticed, our visitor has gone.
Yes, I noticed.
What do you make of his story?
You mean the curse? I've heard better tales at bazaars and flea markets.
Why would he concoct such a story if it wasn't true?
To discourage us from searching for the diamond, as it appears he suspects it is missing.
You doubt its history of misfortune?
Only that it was caused by a curse.
How do you propose to get it back?
One step at a time. First, we must find Lady Iris's missing fireplace poker. I trust that will point us in the right direction.
Inspector Lestrade has returned, Mr. Holmes.
Oh, show him in. Unless I'm very much mistaken, we're about to receive some good news. Ah, Lestrade, so good to see you again, and so soon.
Yes, Holmes, Doctor. I had returned to the yard, and right off, one of my men tells me there's been a body found near the Carraday estate. I have a look at the evidence, and what do you know? There's the missing fireplace.
Fireplace and poker, and fortune has indeed shined on us, Watson. The tip is caked in blood.
Now I'll have to have that back, Holmes. That is a murder weapon.
Wonderful. Whose body was it?
A fellow named Rooney. We know him. We'd arrested him several times. Usually for petty theft, but the occasional assault and battery. Now, he was found with that poker through his heart. Rather reminded me of that harpoon case you saw a while back. Appeared to be by a rather stout hand.
Stout. The very word Watson used to describe Rooney's killer.
And who would that be?
Alec Collier, the brother you erroneously suspect.
I see. That would explain why he had the Carraday's fireplace poker.
Precisely. I take it you haven't had any luck in locating him?
Not yet, but we're on it.
Inspector, would you be so good as to treat him gently if you find him, and let me know at once?
Right. I've also brought the contents of Ruby's pockets. I thought you might want to have a look.
I do indeed.
Here, I'll take care of that.
Now, we found this knife on Rooney, blood on that too.
I see. Had a rabbit's foot key fob. To fend off the effects of the curse, I venture.
Oh, do you think so?
No. PC, Peter Carraday, Apparently Rooney didn't know that a good thief never carries an item in his pocket with another man's monogram on it. Wow. CSPCTU300. Most suggestive.
Any idea what that's about?
No, but may I keep it for now?
Oh, I don't see why not.
Mrs. Hudson, would you be so good?
Yes, I'll get it sorted.
One more question, Inspector. Do you know if Rooney was acquainted with Sentry?
Oh, quite likely. Jack Sentry hires thugs, and Rooney was a thug for hire.
Thank you, Inspector. Here's your parcel and your poker. Good day.
Thank you. Mrs. Hudson, I'll show myself.
Hey, Inspector. Holmes, what next?
It's our task to determine who hired Rooney to kill Lord Peter.
Hired Rooney? Why do you think anyone hired him? He was a thief stealing a diamond. Why complicate matters?
What good is a major diamond to a minor thief?
No, someone put him up to this.
But who?
Well, he's dead and can tell no tales.
But if he didn't deliver the diamond, his employer would still want it and would have gone to Sotheby's for the auction.
We know who the prospective bidders were. Let's meet the rest of them.
I rarely put my foot down, Mr. Holmes. But if you manage to find that diamond, kindly don't bring it here.
I'll see to that, Mrs. Hudson.
Thank you, Doctor. It's enough that we have bullet holes in the walls and severed hands in formaldehyde. We don't need any Arabian desert curses.
Hardly in a state to be sketched, Mr. Anslow. My eyes are nearly swollen shut.
And it's your eyes I most want to capture. Turn your head to the right, just an inch. Perfect.
I don't suppose this is the normal way for a widow to be comforted, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
I hoped you'd find it diverting. It was good of you to meet with me at this most difficult hour. All of us at the Randolph Club are deeply grieved by Lord Peter's passing.
You may say murder. I've grown quite used to hearing it this week.
I'm sure you have. We'll miss him. I always liked seeing him at our grouse hunts.
He was quite keen about his guns.
Is there anything I can do to assist you during this ordeal, besides drawing a picture?
It's very kind of you. I seem to be muddling through. I went to Chalfont St. Peter's to meet with Father Martin about the funeral services, and we decided on a simple graveside ceremony. I don't expect many to attend.
I'll be there. But do you need any other assistance?
What do you mean?
I heard that you and Lord Peter are selling some of your furnishings, in addition to the diamond. True?
Yes, it's true.
Also, that Lord Peter had gambling debts.
Apparently you know quite a bit about my husband's affairs.
Just rumors around the club. It said he owed Jack Sentry quite a bit. Do you know who that is?
Jack Sentry? Yes, I know him all too well.
How so?
When Peter first introduced me to him, he claimed he was an old friend, and he seemed colorful and even charming, but one day when he dropped by the house, Peter had Collier deny that he was home. After that, I made some inquiries, and I found out that he is a notorious bookmaker with a number of former convicts working for him. And when I asked Peter if he was in danger, he claimed not, but I had my suspicions. It's strange. When I first married Peter, I was so sheltered I'd never seen fear in a man before.
Am I right that the Star of Arabia disappeared the day of the murder, and that it is not in the vault at Sotheby's?
You are very perceptive, Mr. Anslow. Yes, the star is missing and the police are seeking our butler, but I have my suspicions. I don't believe so.
Why is that?
They don't know him. He is quite the noble sort, or was. I'm afraid he's missing as well, and I'm worried he's coming to some harm. I do need your help, Mr. Anslow. I believe that Jack Century has the diamond.
You mean that Sentry killed Lord Peter?
Not by himself, but one of his men, yes.
I see.
In fact, he was at our home the day of the murder. Peter didn't want me to know, but I saw him outside.
So your theory is that the murderer came here with Sentry to kill Lord Peter and steal the diamond?
Yes.
Have you shared that with the police?
I've tried, but they're fixed on Collier, believing he killed Peter and took the diamond.
And they haven't questioned Sentry?
I'm sure they have questioned him, but they are suspicious of him.
What does Sherlock Holmes think?
I wish I knew. He seems completely unworried, as if the diamond will just appear on its own.
Well, perhaps I'll go have a word with Jack Sentry.
I can't ask you to do that. What if one of his ruffians are there?
I've handled the likes of them before.
Oh, have you now? I know almost nothing about you other than you're an artist.
Amateur.
Where are you from?
I grew up in the Transvaal. My family had a plantation here, but we lost it in the Boer War. I earned a royal commission and saw a good deal of action before settling in London.
And how did you come to know men like Century's convicts?
At Aldershot, I was assigned to the glass house. You know what that is?
The military prison.
That's right. Corrections facility, they call it so. For those who stepped out of line, I corrected them.
My goodness.
Lady Iris, rest assured, if Sentry has your diamond, I'll get it back.
Will you be able to check his safe?
I'll persuade him to give me the combination if necessary.
I'm sure you could. Perhaps you tell him I want to settle Peter's gambling debts. That will surely get you in the door.
Not a bad idea. What do you think?
It's rather flattering. It's very kind of you to help me like this. How can I repay you, Mr. Anslow?
You can start by calling me Douglas.
Douglas. Douglas Anslow. It's quite a good name.
Thank you, Iris. We've met before, you know.
I wasn't sure you remembered. It was my one and only fox hunt with Peter.
I recall he had some difficulty staying up on his horse.
Yes, quitting early and falling off gave him an excuse to drink more brandy. Medicinally, of course.
Well, the turf gave his horse quite a pounding. A rather wet day for August, but may I say you looked lovely.
Sodden boots and all.
I wanted to pull those boots off of you. Along with your job purse.
Mr. Anslow, I am grateful for the sketch and you making me laugh and your company, but I'm newly widowed, Mr. Anslow.
Douglas.
Douglas.
Forgive me, gentlemen, for not inviting you to my suite, but I would have missed my favorite part of the day, tea time at Colleridge's. It is foolish of me, but I'm a foolish old woman, and I love nothing better than to sit and look at what the fashionable ladies are wearing. Oh,
Well, we
wouldn't dream of depriving you of that pleasure now, Madame Karovna, would we, Holmes?
Certainly not.
Oh, but you gentlemen are both so handsome. Who wants to look at the women? So, how can I help you?
It's about the Star of Arabia, Madame Karovna. Holmes and I were just wondering if you still wish to bid on it.
Oh, yes. When will it be auctioned?
Yes, Lady Iris hasn't decided yet, but when she does, may we contact you here?
I shall be here until May and in Paris until July. I hope she won't wait any longer than that, as I intend to return to Russia for the summer.
Madame Karovna, why do you wish to purchase the Star?
That's a state secret.
Well, you won't have to tell us.
Oh, of course I'll tell you. I love telling secrets. It's the best kind of conversation. I'm buying it for the Tsar.
Alexander.
Oh, no! Alexander is the Tsar. He's done, poor man, and he's only 49. Don't repeat that, by the way. The Tsarevich is his son Nicholas, the crown prince.
And why does he want the star?
Oh, he will make a wedding gift of it for someone.
For his bride.
No, if he gives it away, it will be for his mistress Matilda. She's a famous ballerina. Matilda Kaczynska. Have you heard of her?
I saw her dance the Pharaoh's daughter. 9 curtain calls.
Yes, she was superb.
But Madame Karovna, isn't it a bit odd to be giving one's mistress a gift at such a time? I mean, why would he do that?
To get rid of her and to keep her quiet. It's not enough that Nicholas bought her a grand house or that he showers her in furs and jewels. There's no telling what that girl will say. She's forever feuding with people. That's why Nicholas handed her off to Sergei.
Sergei? Who's Sergei?
Nicholas's brother, the Grand Duke Sergei Alexandrovich.
Oh, and when you say hand it off, you mean...
She sleeps with both of them. Matilda gets around.
Remarkable.
Yes, well, that's all over with now. If Nicholas so much as waves in her direction, it will cause an international scandal. After all, he's marrying a German princess.
But what about his brother Sergei?
Oh, he can go on sleeping with her. No one cares what that Grand Duke does. But I happen to know Matilda's taken up with a new beau, the Grand Duke Andrei Vladimirovich. I tell you, she is a lovely girl and a beautiful dancer, but she's the most brazen whore in all St. Petersburg.
Most illuminating. Thank you for your time, Madame Karovna. Come, Watson.
Oh, must you go? I haven't even told you about the hideous growth on the Tsar's nose. I think that's what's killing him.
Some other time, perhaps.
I meant no offense when I refused your offer to buy me whiskey, but I do not drink alcohol and therefore have no reason to enter a pub. Besides, the air is much cleaner here.
The pub is fine with me.
Now, what can I do for you, Mr. Andrew?
Sheikh Bakri, may I take you into my confidence?
Regarding the diamond,
Yes,
you wish to reveal something disturbing.
I do.
If it is that the star is cursed, this I am already aware.
No, it's not the curse, it's the fact that the stone is missing.
So my suspicions were correct. I am glad for your news, but I wonder why you bothered.
I am mounting my own search for it.
You know where to look?
I have a very good idea and I intend to go there, but first I wanted to know just how much you wish to obtain the diamond.
By how much, I assume you mean the number.
Exactly. What would you pay for it?
You!
That's right, me.
What about Lady Iris?
I trust you not to mention it to her or anyone else.
I see. The Star of Arabia has been stolen and sold many times. Its provenance is written in the venom of scorpions. I wish to ransom it from the West and return it to Arabia. But if I am to purchase the star in secret, rather than at a public auction, my price will be considerably less.
I repeat, how much?
May I remind you, Mr. Anslow, the star is missing.
I'll find it.
Suppose you do. Then what? Will the police follow? What about the person you take it from? Will they not try to get it back? Mr. Anslow, purchasing the star at a public auction is a much safer course for me.
I can assure you, no one will pursue.
How do you know this? Explain.
Lord Peter owed money to a bookmaker named Jack Sentry. Criminal, really. He was the last man known to have seen his lordship alive. He was very possibly accompanied that day by a thug who killed Lord Peter. Together, they stole the diamond. If I take it back from Sentry, he'll be in no position to go to the police.
I see. If I agree to purchase a stone from you, you must not offer it to anyone else at a higher price. That should be exposed. You must bring it to me the moment you have it. And tell no one. Will you abide by these conditions?
I will.
Tell me price.
5,000 pounds.
Agreed. When will I hear from you?
Tonight.
Then I shall not detain you. Good day, Mr. Anslow.
Good day.
You may approach, Omar. The gentleman is gone.
I did not mean to eavesdrop, Sheikh Bakri.
Of course you meant to eavesdrop, Omar. Obsequiousness is your gift. Why not use it?
You're right, of course.
Sit, please. You have my translation.
Yes, I even made 2 copies, typed, as you requested. You will find the English is perfect, I can assure you.
This is wonderful.
Sheikh Bakri, I was wondering, could you possibly pay me more than we agreed upon? I have run into some urgent debts.
You've been wagering on horses, I take it. And you've lost.
Yes, but only because I was desperate. Now I am even more desperate.
I'm sorry to hear this, Omar. But we made a bargain. For 10 pounds. A fair and even generous price. Here's your money.
Sheikh Bakri, if you will not pay me more, perhaps another translation or some other task. Is there nothing else I can do? I will be your most devoted servant.
How much more do you need?
Another 10 pounds.
Your life is written for 10 pounds. That's all you owe?
No, I owe more, much more. But 10 pounds will buy me some time.
Omar, did you note the contents of the manuscript you translated?
Yes, of course. The legend of the Star of Arabia.
More than a legend. The diamond is real. And it is in London. Find it for me, Omar, and I will purchase it then. Bring it to me, and I will make you a very rich man. Will you do this?
Yes, yes, of course.
No doubt you have heard that others are searching for the diamond. Mr. Sherlock Holmes has been engaged to secure. He has rooms at 221B Baker Street. Deliver this copy to Mr. Holmes. Begin your search there. Here is a 10-pound advance. I wish you good fortune in your search.
Oh, thank you, Sheikh Bakri.
Get out, do not kneel, Omar. The pigeons have befouled the pavement.
Yes, yes, thank you, sir. is yet to be determined. I see Demetrius here asking to my table.
Dimitri, madam.
Madam, you wish to see me?
Have a seat, Demetrius. Sonia, join us.
How may we be of service?
Are you at liberty to leave London for possibly 2 weeks?
I can arrange it.
And how much notice will you need before you can go?
No.
And you, Sonia,
I'm at your service.
I may be hurrying back to Russia and will need your protection.
Protection? You shall have protection all the way to Moscow if necessary.
I can't ask you to do that. It's too dangerous.
But we owe you everything.
No, you will accompany me as far as Nice, and then take the return train back. I will be met there by other escorts. Needless to say, Sonia, you must never leave my side. And Dmitri, you must stay nearby, but go unnoticed.
If necessary, I don't care if I'm seen with you. Not even by the Tsar's secret police.
We must avoid them. Now listen to me. I hope to obtain a highly valuable jewel here in London. For years I have searched for it, but always it has eluded me.
May I ask why?
My late husband purchased it for me from the Sultan of the Ottomans. But when Turkey and Russia went to war, my husband was killed, and the stone was reclaimed by the Sultan.
But why do you wish to go to Russia?
It's for the Tsarevich. He knows how much it means to me. Once I give it to him, I will ask him to return our comrades from Siberia. All of them. It is not certain whether I can get the jewel, but if I succeed, I will need to depart at once. Here, money for your train fare, your family, and for you. Take it now. There won't be time later, and we must not meet again. Sonia, expect to hear from me within the week.
Very well.
Thank you. You are good friends.
You are the savior of our children. I would die for you.
I pray it will not come to that.